So I'm Rod Goodman. I am a headshot photographer. I'm just going to give you a little bio on myself. I'm originally from LA. Yeah, LA represent. I started my professional career in the animation business at 18. I worked at Hanna-Barbera. I worked there for a decade. When I lost my job because it was outsourced overseas, I got into real estate. And real estate was good. I had a good time. I flipped houses. I did this, did that. I was partners with my brother. We did, it was good. And then everything kind of took a turn in the early 90s. So I became a mortgage broker. I had a real estate license and couldn't buy houses anymore, so I started selling money. And that was okay. I liked it. But I wanted to do something more with my life, so I went back to school. I was 32. I quit my job and I bought a camera and went back to school and got into photography. So let me give you show you this, my bio. The thing that I hear about my pictures from past clients and other people who look at my stuff is that they're not overly glamorized. They look like themselves. My name's Rod Goodman. I'm a New York-based headshot photographer. I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I've been here since Valentine's Day of 2005. I have a wonderful photo studio. I'm on Park and 27th, and I have a cute dog, Tallulah, that's here just about all the time. My specialty is headshots for actors and corporate clients. Headshots is a very specific product, showing people as they are, but at the very best that they can be. Part of that comes from working with someone that you feel comfortable with, that you feel like you can come into a place and let your guard down and maybe make a fool of yourself a little bit sometimes. But I'll probably make a fool of myself first, so it's not that big of a deal. I truly do actually love what I do. I really enjoy the one-on-one aspect of working with people and to try to, get the best out of people that I can. And it's a skill, and it's an art, and I'm really good at it. I've been doing it a long time. How I got into photography was very simple. I quit my job and bought a camera. That's it. I quit my job and bought a camera. I was a mortgage broker. I was in the real estate business. It was all right, but I just wasn't happy, wasn't fulfilled. And I wanted to do something artistic with my life. I always liked looking at pictures. I never really used a camera. They always intimidated me, the 35mm, the f-stops. Always intimidated me. So I just proceeded to learn how to use a camera. And in doing so, I got hooked up with a wonderful instructor who was very passionate about what he did. And one of the things he said to me was, to all of us in this little class, today is the day that you'll never see the world the same way. Today. And he was right, and it's like all around us, the lighting and everything, if we didn't have light, we'd be walking around in darkness. So that's what photography is, painting with light. I went back to school and thought I'd be a photojournalist, and I was speaking with one of the photojournalists that was kind of a mentor of mine. We were really talking deep, and he said his job consisted of 99% of the stuff he did was bad. It was tough, 1% was great. Would you put your camera down and help somebody, or would you shoot it? And I'd probably put my camera down. So, not a good photojournalist, but I did enjoy doing portraits, and I always seemed to gravitate towards that. I was from LA, and I was like, actors need headshots. I could do that. It just clicked. It just felt right. I've been working on a project on subway performers. It's called the Busker Project. Busker is a term to perform publicly for donations. That's what it means. And I bring them up into my studio and we talk, and I shoot them playing, and then we talk some more, and I shoot a portrait of them and do a little interview. And there's a common thread in that I'm doing what drives me, my passion. Musicians and actors, they're doing what they do. They're driven by their passion. I'm able to mesh with these people really well because we're on the same wavelength. You're certainly more than welcome to call me. I like to do consultations. I think it's important for people to come and meet eye to eye. rodgoodmanphoto.com. So, thank you. So, I just wanted to, I got to say this in public. I said 99%, I said that photojournalist said 99%, he was right. I said, I misquoted him. It was 90%, and 10% of his job was good. So I just want to say that in public, because that always bothered me and I can't fix it. So, I was nervous there too, so I said that. I spent a lot of time nervous. What is that? All right, anyway. All right, so so you saw my bio. You saw that I lived in LA. I moved to New York. I continued doing headshots here. I opened up a studio. I've been there since '06, that studio. And let's see here. That's me. That's designed by my friend Kat. That's my new logo. Yay! All right. All righty. So in LA, I had a very unique opportunity in school because I was in school, I was 32 and I was back in college. So I was with a bunch of young people. I got hooked up with this, he owned a magazine. It was a small local magazine that had a lot of pull. So I found myself brand new in photography in these ridiculous situations, photographing Ernie Hudson and photographing like big actors, you know? So this is some of this, just a few shots that I did back then. That's Ernie Hudson. That's thank you, from Breaking Bad. Todd Bridges. Armin Shimmerman from, that's the character Quark. I never watched it, but that's who it is. Big character actor, does all, he's psycho. He's always the psycho guy. And then I also got into shooting concerts in LA. I was contracted by Shooting Star to shoot editorial stock. So these are some of the concerts I did. Elton John, Bowie, Taj Mahal, who's awesome. Gwen Stefani, no doubt. And then I'm just giving you a little bit of my personal work, just a little bit. So this is some of my Busker project that I'm doing. It's a project, like the video said, that it's on subway performers, and I've been doing this for a couple of years. And here's a couple shots, people that I've shot.
Do you prefer black and white or color?
My business calls for color.
Because
so
your most dynamic shots are black and white.
Well, black and white is black and white. You know, that's the yeah. And then from doing that, I realized really what I do is I work one-on-one with people. Whether it's an actor, a performer, a musician. So I'm really that's what I respond to in my work, and that's what I look for, is photographing one-on-one. So these are some soloists that I've shot. She's a songwriter. He's a gospel singer. DJ, obviously. I think that's it. Okay, so that's that. That's my work. Now I'm going to get into the particulars of what I do. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my equipment. And that's my equipment. Everything I bought from B&H, by the way, except for the White Lightning. Go B&H. 5D Mark II, the 70 to 200 2.8 IS. I have the 85 1.2. I use a Gitzo tripod, which is like bulletproof, and I've had it for 10 years, and it's just strong as ever. And White Lightning, which you can't get here, but you can go online to Paul C. Buff, and they're brilliant. They're wonderful lights, really good. I've dropped them from this high, and nothing happens. So that's my equipment. Now I'm going to go into my lighting for headshots. This, from what I'm going to talk about now, is all headshots, okay? So lighting for headshots is typically supposed to be clean and flattering, okay? And the focus is supposed to be on the person. So these are some of my lighting setups that I use. This is my standard studio light setup. I use one light for my main with a reflector underneath, depending on the person, and I use 3 lights throughout my studio just to light the ambient light. I don't use backdrops. And this is what that produces. And then this is my next lighting setup. This setup I use against my window. So I'm looking at the window, and the client is in front of the window, but about 20 feet away from the window. I use a light in the back just as a kicker for a little rim light around them, and in the front, I use. I shouldn't have. Oh no, that's right. Okay, we're good. And in the front, and in the front, I have just again a main light and a reflector, depending on the person, and that's it. And that's what that produces. That's my window, and that's the New York Life building in the back. And then the last setup that I use typically. I mean, I use a lot of other things, but these are generally what I use. This is my natural light setup, and my natural light setup is obviously my back is to the window, and I have a very large, I have a 20-foot wide window. It's a huge window, so it lets in some really good light. And again, I just use some strobes in the back of throughout my studio just to light the studio ambiently, to have some glow back there. And that's that. That is a white backdrop though, so I kind of misspoke. I do use backdrops sometimes, but not studio, like I don't like those mottled gray. I don't like that. Generally, I'm shooting at 5.6. I find that is the best f-stop for me for a couple reasons. I use a lot, the main lens I use is the 7200, and that's a 2.8 constant. So I find, and what I hear, and I'm sure we all know this, that the lens is the sharpest 2 stops from open. So 5.6. That's how I came up with my f-stop that I use. So I use pretty much most of the time I shoot at 5.6, and obviously the shutter speed changes with the ambient light for natural light. And that's basically it. I mean, the thing about light, the thing about what I do, it's not technical. It's a lot of feeling. You know, the technical part is just the technical part. Once you know what you're doing, you don't have to think about the technical part. So I don't think about it at all, because what I'm really focused on is the person. It's not the technical aspect, you know. So that's why I'm going to, the main focus of what I'm going to talk about today is not gear and it's not technical stuff. It's really about how to deal with people, you know, because it's an art. And I'm sure we've all been in front of the camera, and I'm sure we've all been behind the camera. And it's very difficult either way. It's really hard to be there, you know, on either side, you know. We know that, right? Nobody likes getting their picture taken, including me. Okay, so.
Which lens you said you were using?
I use a 70-200, 2.8, and I use a 85 1.2. Those are my main lenses. Okay. Now I'm just going to give you a timeline of how I deal with a client from the time that they call me until I don't deal with them, until they're gone, okay? So I'm just going to real quickly just give you a rundown of my flow of how I deal with the client. So someone would call me, they find me on the web, or they're referral. Most of my clients are referral based, word of mouth. So most people who are calling me know that they're going to shoot with me, so they don't really need to meet. But if they want to meet, they can come meet with me as well. So we'll handle the booking, whether I do a consult with them or whether we book straight off. So we book with them. We talk a little bit about clothes on the phone or in person, and about what they want a little bit, because I don't want to know too much until I'm actually shooting them. So on the day of the shoot, they come, I send them a clothing list, they bring clothes, hopefully neatly packed. That helps. Be surprised how many trash bags I've seen stuffed with clothes. It's mind-boggling. Anyway, I digress. So then I look through their clothes. We talk about what they want to achieve through the shoot, how they see themselves, how they're castable, basically what their story is, what they want to present. You know, I pick their clothes. We do the shoot. We get their makeup done if they have the makeup artist. We do the shoot. After the shoot, I send everything to them via email. I post everything to my site. I use a Zenfolio site. It's a wonderful site. They're a great company, and they're awesome for what I do. Unlimited storage. They're great. Anyway, so I send my client a link to view their session online, and then depending on what session they get a certain amount of prints included, which I retouch. I do my own retouching. So they would pick their shots. I would retouch them. I'll email them back to them for their approval. Once it's approved, they come pick up their CD, and they go get reproductions, which are 8x10s with their name printed on the bottom, and they're off and running. That's it. And then I do believe in customer relations, so I always try to keep my relationship going with my clients, and that's a really important part of what we do here, is being there for them. You know, so that's basically the timeline of my booking, from booking to the end. Okay? So that's the timeline and there. Okay, so now I'm going to get into basically what makes a successful headshot. Okay? Among many other things, these are the few things I've come up with that make a good headshot. Eye contact, you know. We are all humans, and we all have an innate sense to feel eye contact. So, you know, we've all been there. You've been in a bar or a restaurant or something, and you're making eye contact at somebody across the room, and they turn around and look at you, right? Because they felt you looking at them. That's eye contact. It's a very powerful thing. So what I do, it's huge. Eye contact is huge with what I do. Being relaxed, having relaxed muscles. People, we carry tension in our jaw, we carry it in our shoulders. You can see that so subtly in photos, like it can ruin a photo. And those are things that we work with, me and the client, through certain exercises that I have and you know, guiding them through their anxiety of the shoot, you know, and that relaxes people. Subtext. Subtext is huge because in what I do, technically, yeah, there's two kinds of pictures. There's a commercial and a legit shot, a smiling shot and a serious shot. But that's just so, there's so much more to that, those two things. And with subtext, you can look at someone who's smiling and go, they're not smiling because they're happy. There's something else, you know what I mean? We pick up on these things, or they're serious and they're playfully serious. This is subtext, and this is stuff that shows in a photo when it's in your head. You know what I mean? So when it's in your head and you're there and you're open to being photographed, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. Nondescript backgrounds, obviously. We live in the city. We can go to Brooklyn Bridge and shoot, you know, beautiful shots of downtown in the background, but we're not doing that. This is a tool to help actors get work. That's what it is. So it's not about place, it's about the person. It's about right there. That's what it's about. The last thing is something huge that I talk about in my shoots, which is layers of personality, and that kind of goes with the subtext, that layers in personality. You know, we're not one thing. We're never one thing, you know. I'm a friend, I'm a son, I'm a lover, I'm a brother, I'm a lot of things, you know. We're all not one thing, you know. And having those layers in us and being in touch with them and getting a hold of that is huge in a photo, and it makes a photo really successful. And that's why we respond to photos, because there's photos of people, because there's something going on, and we connect with that person. That's what it is. It's a very powerful thing. And if you're curious what layers in personality is, that's what layers in personality is. Now, obviously I didn't shoot that, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you can't, that says everything I'm trying to say right there. I mean, she had it all. That was what she did. That was her specialty, was being able to have so many things going on at once. I mean, she's tragic and she's sexy and she's so many things all at once, and that's brilliant. I mean, to be able to do that and harness that, and that's not an accident. She knew how to do that. That was a skill on her part. She was able to turn that on and turn different level, you know, and it's incredible, just incredible. So what's next? Let me see. Okay. So now I'm going to show you some examples. The examples I'm going to show you are pulled from shoots that I did recently, the last few shoots probably, and there's no retouching, and they're consecutive shots. So they're 2 shots in a row, okay? And I'm going to show you shots. Here we go, right now. So this young lady, she's a beautiful young girl, very sweet, very lovely, and that's a really nice shot. But that's a little stronger, right? I mean, that she can use this in different applications than this, but for the purposes of what I'm talking about today, she could use either one, but for what we're talking about today, this picture serves what I'm talking about. And it's a directness that she has, you know? See? It's really incredible, and it's so powerful to show clients this as I'm shooting, because they go, wow, this is like, it's so subtle. What we're doing is so subtle, and it is such a subtle thing that we're doing, you know, if you're not breathing, it shows in the picture. And people hold their breath sometimes when they're having their photo taken. So I see these little, you can really pick up on these little, tiny little moves. Young girl, really, okay. Yeah, I see the flyaway hairs, everybody. I know, it's not retouched, all right? Okay, all right. Right out of the camera. So this young lady, really cute, really nice, but isn't that so much stronger? Right? So there's a directness to it and an openness to it that isn't quite there with that one. And these are shot one, boom, boom, right after the other. You know, so it's just, it's magic. It really is. It's like what I do, it's like click, 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 click. You know, it's like I shoot, and then boom, it falls into place. And it's again, click, 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 boom, you know? And it's a powerful thing. And
Are you asking them to move their heads as they're...
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I am. It depends, you know, people have a funny way, and I know we've probably all experienced this, people have a funny way when they're having their picture taken, they tilt their head, you know, or they turn, you know, we do weird things when we have a camera in front of us. So it's my job to guide these people through that. So yeah, it might take, you know, turn your nose to the left or chin down, or, you know, technical things like that, for sure. This young man here, it's a good shot, but that's a lot better. And that's just something in his eyes and something in his mouth and something going on. Okay. And this gentleman here, nice shot, good looking dude, but that's much stronger. And a lot of times, it's not just their eye contact, but it might be the way that they're standing. Like you can kind of see here, he's a little hunched down a little bit, and then he just pulled up a little bit, you know? This young lady right here, cute, pretty girl, but that's a lot more connected, you know? And it's just a matter of her chin going down a little bit, which makes the eyes connect a little better. And her muscles are very relaxed and she's very connected. Let's see here. This young man here, that's a good shot, but that's a lot better, you know. And it's his body language, his attitude in his eyes, and there's a lot more. It says a lot more than that one. Next one up. This is Chantel. She's a sweet young lady. That's one shot, but then isn't that a lot better? And the thing about this one is that this is a good case of where people sometimes sink their head into their neck, just a little bit. And that little bit, as you can see, when she pulls it up, it changes the whole photo. I mean, it's crazy how subtle, you know. That, and we're talking, this is like this much move right there. It's like that much. It's so small, but it makes her connect. This is my friend Trey, and Trey too was doing that kind of sinking down, but then when he pulled up, it changed. Not only did it change the look of the photo, it changed the tone of what he was saying. I mean, look at that. Look how much stronger. Boom. It's incredible. It always amazes me when I see how subtle moves make such a huge difference. Okay, the next one. This young man here has a nice smile, looks good, but when he connects, it's obvious that he connected there. You can see it, you know, it's just more genuine. I can tell that he's not committed with that smile, but that one he is, you know. So that's basically the technical aspect, or those are the examples of what it means of how subtle of what I do, and such small changes in people's attitudes, even a thought, you know, even a thought in someone's head. It's so subliminal. You can turn someone like that just by saying something like, think of a secret. Think of a secret. they don't even have to think of us. They hear that, and it's just a suggestion of a secret, and it processes in our head, and it comes out our eyes, and it's like that. You say it, and it happens. It's just incredible how subtle it is. You know, how the power of suggestion, I guess, or how little things can make a huge difference in a photo. So that's that. Now I'm clipping through this stuff, guys. This is good. I'm going to have an hour and 50 minutes to hope you have a lot of questions. Okay. Now I'm going to go into my retouching. So some photographers in my field choose not to do retouching because they feel like, well, I have more important things to do, or I should be shooting, and it's not, you know, the computer is not what I do. I'm a camera person, you know. And although I understand that sentiment, I don't agree with it, and I feel that me, as the photographer, someone who's an authority of headshots, that's why they seek me out. That's why they seek us out, headshot photographers, because this is what we do, you know? So I do retouching because I feel like I know how far I should go, okay? And you'll see what I'm talking about. A client can take their photo from me or any other photographer and go to a retoucher and sit behind them and say, okay, take my bags out, clean all my lines up, make my skin smooth, do everything, and now they look fake. You know, they feel good about the photo because their ego is feeling good, but it's not going to do them any good in this business, you know? And that's what this is about, because casting directors are very savvy. And when they look at a photo and they know it's retouched, they go, this has been retouched. How far has it been retouched? I don't want to call this person in. I don't have the time. And then it goes into the trash can, you know? So it's very important to retouch to the level where I think it should be. Then there's times when some clients are not happy with that. And I'm going to show you some examples of that. I'm being very open and honest today. So here's some retouching examples. This young man, this is before, and that's after. So there's a couple things I want to point out. Obviously, the lines in his forehead are reduced quite a bit, but I want you to notice his right eye, camera left, okay? Nobody is symmetrical. We all have one eye smaller. Just about everybody has one eye smaller than the other. And people are very sensitive to that, as I understand, you know? And his eye is smaller, right? Well, when I retouched it, does that look any better?
No.
Does his eye look a little more open?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
I didn't open his eye. I didn't do anything to his eye. That's right. I put in a catch light. I made the catch light bigger, which just gives the illusion that his eyes are more even. That's it. I didn't do anything to that guy's eye. Just the catch light. That's all. And then the lines in the forehead and what's that?
You reduced them tremendously.
Yes, and I'll tell you why I reduced it tremendously. Because when I meet you, I'm not studying your face. I'm not looking around your face and going, well, what's that? You know what I mean? We're talking and we're here. But when a photo is handed to you, that photo is there and you're looking at it, right? So when this guy walks in and they saw this photo and they look at this guy, they're not going to go, hey, wait, you had bigger lines on your forehead. They're not going to do that. They're not. It's just not going to happen.
Also the lines on the...
And the light, right, yeah. We call those tree rings in the business. Yeah, I hate those. They drive me crazy. And they add nothing to the photo, and I could just get rid of them. And it means nothing to get rid of them. And I'm not fooling anybody. You know, it's important not to really fool people. That's what retouching is supposed to be for headshots. So that's the after. Now this lady, too. You know, she's an attractive lady, and I just cleaned up her eyes a little bit. You can still see she has bags in her eyes. You know, it's very important that you don't take those away, because it drives me crazy when I see a photo of a headshot of somebody, particularly if I shot it, and they took the bags away, like took them away, because we all have that under there. You have to. We're human. You got to have those. So in the retouching, you know, I do keep those bags. This young lady, basically all I did there was just clean up her top. And it just gives a feeling of a little more, you know, it just strengthens up the shot a little bit without really, you don't even know why. This is a good story, and this little girl, I'm going to just tell you a quick story. I shot her when she was probably 7, and she came to me the first time, and we shot the pictures, and her mother called me up after she got the pictures and everything, and she goes, I got to tell you that my daughter got a job from these headshots, and she told me the story of what happened. Her daughter found an open casting call for Billy Elliot. Demanded to go to this open call with her mom. I want to go here. I want to do this. She waited online. Her mother was like, "This is an open call, honey. They're probably not going to want us. You know, just letting you know." She wanted to do it. She waited online. She got a call back. They called this girl back. They called her back another time, and they hired her to be in Billy Elliot. And her mother, the girl's 7 years old. The mother is like, "All right. We're going to sign this contract, and this means that you're getting pulled out of school. You got to do 8 shows a week, and you can't say no. Are you ready to do this?" And she looked at her mom and goes, "Mom, I was born to do this." That's awesome, man. So this is after I just shot this probably about 3-4 months ago, and she came back. She's 13 now, and she works a lot, and she's a sharp young lady, a really, really sharp young lady, really sweet. And she's about that tall. She looks like she's 7. Except now the teeth, now she's changing now. Okay, so that's that. This young lady came to me because she's a sweet, pretty Asian girl who happens to be like a high-level black belt in her discipline. And nobody believed her. That she'd turn in her headshots, and they're like, yeah, they'd read her resume, and they're like, yeah, sure, you're not a black belt. So she wanted a picture that made her look bad. So that's what we did, and she's doing that, man. She was jumping up in the air. So yeah, man, this is it. And then this is retouched. Obviously, I made the background white, and I cleaned up her clothes a little bit, as you can see, around her sleeves and her pants and stuff. But I also tipped the shot up a little bit because I feel that the eye contact is much stronger. Watch.
Yeah.
Boom. See? And now she has a shot flying through the air like the bad chick that she is. There you go. People believe her now. You should have heard it too. It made such a great sound when she jumped up, and the clothes, all her clothes is awesome. It was really cool. And she kept doing it over and over again. And what's crazy is I'll do these shots. I've done these like with dancers and with different people want to jump up in the air and do something, you know. And this girl, look at her face. I mean, she is so on right there, man. Because most people, when they do this, their faces look like this because they're doing something very difficult. But she was so connected. I mean, really, look at that. It's crazy, crazy. And she would do it one time and go, oh, wait, my arm was too low. I'm going to do it again. She was hardcore, man, hardcore. Really sweet, though. So I thought that was a successful shot. Again, with the, you'll see. Now, you can kind of tell, look at his face. Yeah, aside from the rings, which we all know that I hate, you can watch the shape of his face come together. Boom. And there's no liquefy. I don't do anything with liquefy. Nothing. No tricks. Okay. It's just dodging and burning. That's all it is. That's all I do to create the contours. You know, and it makes a big difference. And his shirt. See? That makes a big difference. So that's that. This gentleman right here has a very, very droopy eye. And he's cool with it. He knows it's there, you know? And that's after. And basically what I did is, I did open up his eye a little bit. I used the liquefy, but I also reduced the bag under his eye too. Watch. See it? So it just lightens that area up a little bit because the bag is reduced, which just gives you, I mean, he still looks like he looks. It opens it up a little bit, so it's not so obvious, you know. This gentleman here, I didn't do much to this guy, but there's one thing I did. Well, there's a few things I did, but the one thing that I notice, if you watch the little lump in his shirt, watch. Yeah, but watch how it changes his face, though. It makes him look like he's strong. I'm sorry. It makes him look like he's just stronger, right? Crazy, right? Isn't that nuts? It's just a little stupid little thing like that. And this is him again, and that's the just the wrinkles in his T-shirt were just so there were so many of them, you know, that I just cleaned those up. That's it.
You want some lighting?
What's that?
You want some lighting to it?
Well, yeah, that's color and contrast, all that stuff. This gentleman right here, this is my pick from his shoot. He picked something that was very, I didn't put it in there, but he picked something that was very traditional, very straight up. And what I did was, this is like, kind of like the power of what a portrait is. And the power of a portrait is just as much about the person taking the photo as it is the person being photographed, right? So I knew his story, and he was a very, very high figure at a major financial institution that failed, okay? And a really good guy, but he was a very high up dude, right? So he got out. So I chose to photograph him in a way that made him look the way I wanted him to look. Does that make sense? Am I? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, good. So, and that's, yeah, there you go. And so that's that. And he picked one where it was really flat lighting, but I just went to the side and made, and got the lighting to go a little more, fall in a shadow on the side, and just got him to look in a certain way just by the angle that I chose. And it just says so much more about him than the shot that he chose. So, whoops, okay. Oh, and I'll say too that what I do for this shot is, what did I do? I use a filter on this one, and it's the blur filter, but I use a blending mode that's not normal.
Overlay, soft light.
Yeah, it's one of those that gives it a different quality. It doesn't blur it. It's a weird quality, and it's one of those. I'm sorry, I didn't. Okay. This young lady, Jill, she came to me. She's a yoga instructor, and that's the before, and that's the after. And what we did is, I tightened up her arms a little bit because she didn't like that. So I had to do, I tightened her arms. I took the Nike swoosh off. I cleaned up her earring. I made her face a nice glow. Oops. And, oops, golly, there we go. There we go. And that's basically it. Yeah, I took the earring off, yes. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why we always say no jewelry, is because inevitably you're only going to see one of them, and I'm going to end up retouching it out. So take it off. Just get rid of it. I don't need it. And this young lady, you'll see the before and the after. This is pretty drastic. This is a lot more drastic than I would normally do, but for what she needed it for, it was appropriate. And you can see I just obviously cleaned up her bags in her eyes and smoothed her skin out and knocked the shine out off of her cheek and her forehead. That's why it's good to get a professional makeup artist. Okay. And this young lady, what'd I do to her? Oh yeah, okay. think I just fix under her eyes. So I just fix under her eyes, which, you know, she still looks like her, but it's just, see, the thing is that we shoot digital. We're shooting digital, all right? I mean, I'm sure everybody's shooting digital here. And I shoot digital. And digital is HD. And HD stands for high definition. And high definition means that you're going to see everything. So in what I do, people don't want to see everything, right? I mean, in the old days when I shot film, you know, so many sins were hidden, you know? But now with color and with digital, it's HD. So she may not look like that in person. It may be, you may not pick up on her bags as much, but on an HD photo, you're going to see it, you know? And that's what my retouching consists of, is basically bringing a photo back to reality, from a hyper state back to some sort of reality. That's how I think of my retouching. And that's the after. And this young lady, this was for a CD I did, and I just you know, did cross-processing and whacked her out and all that kind of stuff. It's a cool shot. Great music, too. And this guy right here, a few things that really bothered me on this one was just the shine on the tip of his nose and the forehead was really hot to me. So I just evened it out a little bit. And this young lady right here, I just contoured her a bit to make her pop better. Took the element out of the background, heightened the couch a little bit behind her to make it, the color pop a little bit. And that's it. And this young girl right here, I fixed her bags in her eyes a little bit and popped her eyes a little bit and just radiated her skin a little bit. Made it a little glowy. But other than that, oh, and I fixed the hair a little bit. People don't have perfect hair, so you're gonna, you know, it's okay if there's little pieces sticking out, because that's, you don't want it to look like a helmet head, you know? So you have to be very careful when you're retouching that it doesn't look like whoosh, perfect, you know? Same on the inside, you know, people have little hairs. That's what happens. And that's okay, to a degree. This guy right here, I just basically, you'll see, I just fixed his shirt, which helps him look like he's sitting up straighter. And took the ruddiness out of his neck. A lot of red under there. So I took that out. And that's basically it on that one. And this lady too, you know, she's a lady at a certain age, and it's important that we represent her fairly, you know. So in retouching, I just cleaned up a little bit of the necklines, a little bit under her eyes, and that's it. That's all I did, really. And this young man here, same thing, just a little bit of a tiny bit on his shirt and just his eyes and his skin, and there you go. I think it looks a lot better that way. And this young lady, not much here, I just fixed her shirt, which tightens up her waist a little bit, just makes her look a little tighter, that's all. Okay, this one is, this is the one where I had to go a little further than I would have liked to. But, you know, at the end of the day, I answer to my clients, so I have to give them, you know, what they want. So that's the after. A little further than what I would normally do, but, you know, I fought hard to keep those lines in her eyes, really hard, and I won. Yay me. So guys, that's it. So now I'm going to open it up to some questions. How do I achieve getting a smile from someone? Yeah. So your question is, how do I achieve a smile, getting a smile from someone who doesn't want to smile? You have to work with, everybody is an individual, okay? So it's very difficult to give a universal answer to you know what I'm saying? But generally,
you have your tricks, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. A lot of, you know, let me tell you something. A lot of tricks that I do are just purely mechanical, you know? And what I mean by mechanical is, if I see someone is tense, if I tell them to take a deep breath, I mean, that in itself is a great stress reliever, you know? And that felt good. I just did that. It felt good. Breathe. So the, you know, little mechanical tricks really work really well. If I'm seeing someone's having a hard time, and it depends on the hard time that they're having. A hard time might be that they're locked in on the camera and they're just zoning in on it. They're zoning in and they're zoning in. And if I make a noise like that, it works. Or tell them to look down, you know, look down and take a breath. That's a mechanical fix, you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with any emotion behind it, you know? He wants to know if my demeanor affects the client's demeanor. Absolutely, totally. You just said you see me smile, you see me yeah. We're very susceptible to the power of suggestion, totally. So if I'm behind the camera, remember I said I don't have to hold the camera to my face, right? So if I'm shooting someone and I feel they're having a hard time, I'm gonna pull my face away from the camera a little bit and I'm gonna start smiling. I'm gonna smile, and they're gonna smile back. And it's gonna be genuine. Good question. Good question. Do I keep my negatives? Yes. All my clients sign a model release, okay? Everybody signs a model release. I keep my work filed. I keep it filed. I tell clients that I keep my work filed for 2 years. They can access getting new shots from me for 2 years from the time that they shoot. In reality, just between you and me and the video right there, I never get rid of anything. I never do. I mean, does anybody? I mean, I think as photographers, we keep all of our shots, I think. So yeah, I never get rid of anything, but for the purposes of dealing with clients, I keep my own negatives. And the reason that I do that is, there's a reason I do that, aside from the obvious income stream, which is such a secondary thing to me, because really the money is made from the shoots, not the prints, you know, for me. But the really important reason why I keep my negatives, why I keep my original images, the raw images, is because I'm selling my product that I'm giving is a finished product. That's what I'm giving. I'm not giving an almost finished product, you know? So to me, it never made sense to burn a DVD of someone and say, okay, there you go, you're off and running, go do what you want, you know? A client may think in the short run, like, ooh, good, I'm getting more for my money because I'm getting every shot from this session, and this is awesome. Now I can go print and I could do whatever I want. But the reality of it is, they're gonna look through that session and they're gonna pick a handful of shots. They're not gonna use any of the other shots, and they're gonna go get them retouched by their friend, and it's gonna look like crap. And they're gonna get the, you know what I mean? So I'd rather I try to hold on to the image as long as I can, you know, the final, until it's final. And of course, someone could take their CD and they can go to a reproduction place and get more retouching done, and people do that. But generally they're not, because once they pick it up, they feel good about what they're getting and they're excited and they're ready to roll.
For more information, please visit us online, give us a call, or stop by our New York City Superstore. You can also connect with us on the web.